Alright, welcome back to Drinking with the Fat Guys. Big Fat Will here.
Georgia Sean,
Hurricane Marco.
because he's smashing Haitians.
And we have a wide spread here of Oktoberfest. Way too many. We're going to start out down there. Yeah, you be the finger. With the Jack's Abbey Copper Legend. Move on to the Goose Island Oktoberfest. The Yingling Oktoberfest. Dry County Oktoberfest. Sam Adams Oktoberfest. Highland Clawhammer Oktoberfest. The Shiner Oktoberfest. Warsteiner Oktoberfest. The Weinheinsstoffaner Oktoberfest. The Spaten Oktoberfest. Red Hair Oktoberfest. And the New Realm, the Bavarian Prince Oktoberfest. Shit. Alright, we're starting off with this
Jack's Abbey,
Copper Legend.
Fest beer.
It's not her first rodeo.
She may be more familiar with how this goes. This is amber.
Alright.
Copper, I'd say. Copper Legend.
Yeah. Malty?
Yeah, malty. It's very malty. A good Marzen, which is a fest beer, should be malty more than hoppy. Because again, that's the way the German style is. The Marzen and the fest beer is a version of the Marzen, and it's a malty beer.
Alright, well, let's see how it tastes.
It's got the malt, but it's a lighter malt. It's a little bit of sweetness, and then it has a slight bitterness to it. But I think it's a malty bitterness, not a hoppy bitterness.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing as far as multi-bitterness.
Yeah. You
It's
know,
not
bro,
bad.
I think this is what we're going to get a lot, across a lot of these Oktoberfest beers. I mean, we'll see if one wows us.
One of the problems that we usually test beers, of course, from an entire brewery, but a variety of beers. Like we'll test a pale, an IPA, a lager from the same brewery, which is a good spectrum. But when we do the same kind of beer over and over, you're right. That one of the problems is that there's going to be some similarities that happen with it because they're the same kind of beer. So you're right. It's probably going to be a very common malty beer because again, it's a fest beer. It's a Marzen, you know, right? And hopefully we'll find the Marzen, the fest beer we like the most.
Yeah, there's some one or two that pops.
I think so. It's not bad. I mean, I would not say I love this, but it's very
Well,
good.
we have 12 more to go, apparently. Fuck. Alright, now we're moving on to this Goose Island's Oktoberfest, but apparently I found out that Octobers are called Marzen beers.
Fest beers, they're Marzens.
You know what? This is the thing that Elon Musk is after? No. Marzen. Never mind. Alright, there we go.
So this is a little bit clearer and a little bit more amber than copper.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I probably would expect this from Goose Island, though.
Yeah, but it's a commercial. It's a huge
Yeah.
brewery. It's very commercial.
Exactly.
I'd call it almost macro. I mean, again, it's not macro because macro is what you think Heineken and Budweiser, of course. But Goose Island is left craft beer.
I mean, same
Well,
smells.
It's
Yeah.
a very light malty.
Yeah. So this is for somebody that would want to say, "Oh, it's October. Let me try an Oktoberfest." And
Yeah.
I mean, this is like your Bud Lights of Oktoberfest.
I know it sounds bad. I mean, you're right. What it is it's a maltiness, but it's very light.
Yeah, it's
There's
really
no
light.
bitterness.
Yeah.
It's super easy to drink. If you don't like hops and you're looking for a sweet malty beer, like if you like bread and you don't like hops, this is a good.
Yeah. Not a wower to me, but I mean,
It's not offensive.
no, not offensive at all. All right, now onto this Yingling Oktoberfest.
So Yingling actually has some history. It's actually the U.S.'s oldest continuously operating brewery. That's not that talented. But no, it's actually for a larger brewery that we all know. This actually is got a long history. We're obviously familiar with their core beer, but they also have black and tan, and of course every year they put together an Oktoberfest. History. with y'all. Hey,
Why did it take so long for Yingling to be sold in Georgia?
It's all about, so beer is sold at a very, kind of like the car market. You know how you can't buy a car from Ford or Cadillac directly, right? You have to have an intermediary. That is U.S. law. Beer has the same problem. You can buy beer from breweries to go. If you notice, if you go to a brewery in Georgia, for example, it's only, you can only buy so much. You can buy it right there, right? They have to pass special laws to be able to sell directly. Because the system has been built to have a middleman, a distributor, which is created. And if you watch a great video, it's a documentary, I don't know where to clip this into, but look it up. It's called Beer Wars. And it's got Sam from Dogfish Head, it's got the guys from Stone, right? And they're talking about the difficulties of trying to sell beer. Because what you have to do is you have to play against the big boys. And so if you are a brewer, and you are a small brewer trying to build, let's just say Red Hip, right? And you're trying to sell beer, right? You have to go to your distributor and say, sell my beer. Well, guess what? Budweiser, for that distributor, sells 80% of their beer. So when Budweiser says, I don't like that beer, or I want to not have you sell this beer, if the distributor says, I'm going to sell it to you anyways, they can lose 80% of their business in one thing. So Budweiser, Interbrew, all these major sellers of beer have such a control over distributors because they can literally say, you will lose 80% of your business if you don't do what I said.
Right.
And it doesn't have to be official. They can literally just hint it on a call. They can hint it in person. They can just say, hey, screw that beer, right? And they'll just say, we're not going to cover it, right? They have an incentive not to. And luckily, craft brew, like our channel here, is trying to show you that there is better beer out there. And you have to demand it because what's going to happen is the distributor, at some point, will get enough demand from stores saying, we've got to carry more beer. And that's why when you go into your Minks, that's why you go into your other your regular liquor stores, they got a whole selection. Because people are demanding it. This is not what happened 20 years ago. 20 years ago, it was Sam Adams. That was your option.
Right.
Demand your beer.
Demand good beer as you grow up. All right. Very clear, very amber copper.
Yeah. Slightly more malty.
Slightly more malty, but less sweet.
Yeah, definitely less sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is actually the least. Again, we're only 3 beers in.
Yeah.
This is.
Yeah.
Thank you. This is actually, I'd say, the least flavorful beer. I mean, it's the least offensive. There's no flavor at all.
Yeah. I mean, the maltiness hits you in the back.
I know, but it's barely there.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're at a bar and you're trying to have a good time and you don't like hops, this is the easiest beer to drink.
Yeah.
And this has less hops than Budweiser.
It definitely, it's definitely a go-to. Like if you just at the bar trying to have a good time, I definitely really get it.
And it has no alcohol. It doesn't tell us what alcohol is. But I would say that...
They don't on the bottle for some reason. You'd think they'd have to, but...
Yeah, some states require it. But... Long story short, oh, by the way, don't get me started on labeling. But you can see it in the beer. Alright, well, either way...
You like a light.
All right, Dry County Oktoberfest. Oh wow, that's force behind that one.
That's weird. That's definitely a little bit longer. Dry County is up in Kennesaw, so this is what I call a true craft beer because it's a brew pub. It's making beer. I mean, they're canning, but it's still a brew pub. So, like, unlike a Sam Adams, which is a brewery.
Right.
All right.
Little known fact, it's not actually a dry county up there.
It is not. Good. All right, very clear, but amber copper.
Yeah. See?
So this has a stronger aroma.
Yeah. Malty, but
Got a little bit.
Yeah, see, it has a little more bitterness than some of the other
oh
ones.
yeah. See, and this is what I expected from once we got to the craft ones. There's just a little bit more flavor.
Yeah,
I think the mainstream try to play it safe,
You're absolutely right, but I think the thing is that while this has an interesting bitterness to it, I actually have so far liked the mainstream a little bit for drinking purposes.
Oh yeah, definitely.
This is all Oktoberfest.
Yeah. It'd be hard to put away like a 6-pack.
Yes,
Yeah.
valid point.
Yeah, and the lighter ones would have been a lot easier to do, yeah.
Oktoberfest.
Alright, we're moving on to the Sam Adams Oktoberfest. I think I beat this one.
How's that work?
Oh, I didn't get to flip it off.
It is a bit darker. I mean, it's a darker kind of copper,
Oh yeah, definitely darker.
but it's got way more head on it. Like if you notice, the rest of them, there's some light head. This is definitely foaming up. And Sam Adams has made a big point, by the way. Little detail. Sam Adams has made a point that they are focused that do not forget head that contains all the aroma.
It smells roasty too.
It
Very roasty.
does. They've roasted their malts. All right, so this has got the most variety. So right now, most of them have been a little lighter. This is where we have back into it, a heavier malt.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, no, I think this is kind of the move. I was going to say move to our craft beers, but
This is what I would say is again, look, Sam Adams, at the end of the day, is the original what I call craft beer behemoth. They were the big craft beer, and so they still have a craft beer taste to it, but they've got some like I wouldn't say
volume.
They've got volume.
They can
They're not. They're also not.
produce so
They're
much.
not jumping too far into overly creative. So this is a nice beer. It's a heavy malt beer. It's got a roastiness to it, but nothing about it says to me, unfortunately, amazing.
No. I mean, what do you think about all the extra flavor? I mean, is it a bit much or?
No, it's not a bit much. It definitely has more flavor than the other three that we tried. But I actually like it as far as the flavor goes and the maltness to it.
Strong in the malt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No bitterness at all.
No.
The roasty is nice, but the bitterness is zero.
Yeah.
Alright. Alright, so we're moving on to this Highland Clawhammer Oktoberfest.
How we have a rough time on the line?
Chris McCandless would have nothing on me.
I've been trying to survive.
Alright, it's a nice, short but clear copper.
Oh, it's just like you, short and clear.
I definitely have a lot of head over here. Right?
Yeah, alright. Good evening for Marco here. Alright. Thank you.
There you go.
How about hazy? Oh no, that's good again. So the one thing I will notice about the Oktoberfest is they've all been very clear.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
All the copper amber, but again, that makes sense.
It's beautiful color.
Yeah.
Malty?
That doesn't taste like anything.
It doesn't, does it?
This one tastes like nothing.
It's like really syrupy, but then there's just not.
Yeah.
that
It
much
disappears
to it.
instantly.
Yeah.
I would say that this is the least flavorful beer we've had so far.
Probably the easiest drinking one though, because it doesn't taste like anything.
But that's the problem.
It's like water.
What's the alcohol content on this?
It's 5.
5? 'Cause I don't-
So it's
okay,
all
that's not that
alcohol and
dangerous.
water
Yeah.
with a minor malt color. I mean, considering the color of this beer, you would think that it would have at least some heavy malt flavor.
Well, and of course the viewers don't get the texture, but the texture's thick.
Yeah, that's very strange.
Yeah.
Either way, I would definitely say at least flavorful beer so far.
Yeah, I
still
would,
like it,
I would not go for. I would not go for these.
We're talking about
Right.
times.
Moving on to Shiner, just Shiner, I guess. Oh, Oktoberfest.
This is your first beer?
There we go.
Oh, look,
Just
there's
beat it
a, oh,
with
look,
the
there's a
thing.
twist off.
Huh. All right, on to this beer.
Hey, this is a point piece of it. Say you're out of pocket back for $5,000. They give you a coupon for $5,000. They still make $85,000.
So
Very, very clear. But this is more amber than copper.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely more amber.
And this one has some aroma, malty. Definitely a deeper malt.
Yeah. See, this is more what I think of as an Oktoberfest beer. It's malty. It's not
Has
bitter.
more flavor than
oh, yeah, it's very malty.
Yeah, zero bitterness, very malty, more flavor.
More flavor.
I think this is kind of similar to the Sam Adams, but the Sam Adams was more roasted.
Yeah, I have
Malt,
more.
yeah. So this is
This is going number 2 out of what we had so far.
So far, I like this one a lot too. It's an easy one. And if you're talking about Oktoberfest, this is what I think you're right. Which is funny because Sam has such an Oktoberfest presence.
Das Blut.
Really, like in Germany?
It's not here.
Oh, okay, I was gonna say. Like,
I don't know what their German presence is. They buy their hops from Germany.
does Germany have any like external, foreign beers at their Oktoberfest?
I don't know.
Like, could you show up at the Oktoberfest and get like a Coors Light? Would that be acceptable?
I feel like that's two phrases. One is definitely not acceptable, but I don't know the answer if you can get one.
Yeah, and all I know is coming up in the near future, we have a Weinheinstapana.
Say that again?
What?
Weinheinstapana.
And for the viewers that don't speak German, like all of us, what does that mean exactly?
Beer.
Who knows?
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. That's probably not even a German beer. It's like they just wrote letters on a glass.
It's like a Japanese beer, you know? Like, this would be a great beer.
Yeah, and it's like they just put like symbols and it just says like toilet or something.
Yeah, exactly. It's like Sapporo's like version.
Okay.
All right, so this was a yeah. All right, now we're moving on to this Warsteiner Oktoberfest. How I spend my Thursdays is my business.
Alright, this is actually almost golden. It's not even. So this is more of a fest beer style. So
Yeah, so very clear, not amber. But ooh, it still has a malty stuff to it. Without the
very malty.
Without the amber. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's a malty beer for being golden, but it's pushing back to the lager stuff. And again, let's not forget Oktoberfest is a lager. So it's not the ale. You're getting the lager aspect. And this is pushing back to what I call your traditional lager. It tastes kind of a little bit of a lager bite, but clarity within a lager. With some malt.
Overall, I think this is my favorite one.
Good. It tastes so much like a normal kind of just more center to me that I don't know.
That's true. If you drink this now, this is actually weird for me.
Yeah. They didn't change that much to get to Oktoberfest now.
That is a valid point.
No, like just.
Now it's a fantastic product to begin with, so why fix it if it ain't broken?
Right.
All right, now we're moving on to this Weinheinstapana. There we go. Fuck. Again. There we go.
But again, this is another light one. Look at this. I mean, this is almost a yellow.
Definitely.
Strong head though. This is a more yeasty.
Yeah. Very light.
Actually, you know what? That's a fair statement. It tastes like Heineken. I was expecting this to be really easy, but delicious. And in fact, it tastes just straight up lager.
Yeah. I'm not expecting that from our folks at Vine.
What was that?
It's a fest beer. It's a fest beer.
Yeah, you know, this is the thing. Fest beers often are misunderstood as a heavy beer. But don't get me wrong. Marzens are the code for Oktoberfest. You know, Marzen is a standard Oktoberfest beer. Fest beers don't necessarily have to be Marzen.
Is this supposed to be an easy drinking beer? Is that what it's supposed to be?
It's
Like,
supposed to be.
It went down.
Yeah, it's easy, but it's. I mean, a Fest beer is not necessarily the malty beer, but again, most German Fest, Marzens, Oktoberfest are malty heavy. This, it's obviously malt, but very light.
yeah. You're like, all right, now we're moving on to this Paulaner. Nailed it, didn't I? All right.
You see, Rebecca turned towards the amber.
Oh, back to malty.
Very malty, but there's like a bitterness to the smell.
Yeah.
How do they taste so much?
But again, it's malty taste. Yeah.
Yeah, more malty.
Very malty with a hint of yeastiness to it.
Yeah.
But
An aftertaste.
You know, this may be a bottle conditioned beer though.
Do you taste the aftertaste too? Yeah. There's something afterwards that just.
Look, I'm
So you're not a fan of what's this called again?
Paulaner.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I failed. I don't see anything about it being bottle conditioned, but I would say that the key element, I think, in a good Marzen is the maltiness. But a German Marzen has a yeastiness to it, and this has definitely got a hint of yeastiness to it.
Yeah, I'd agree.
It's not bad.
Yeah. All right, now we're moving on to this Spaten Oktoberfest.
This is Spaten.
Huh. I mean, I can smell it.
Again, it's a solid amber again. We're back in the amber territory. Oh, but hold on. This is a little soury.
I could smell it when I was pouring it.
Yeah, like this. Good.
So
Oh, that's kind of interesting.
this malt and almost a sourness to it, like a yeasty sour.
It's like a good blend.
It's a little different.
This
I like where
is
they're
super easy though.
Yeah.
Like this goes back to what I'd call a German lager. Like if you think about like just like having a German lager, just chilling out and drinking it like having a few, right? They've malted up their German lager. That's what I think.
Yeah, I think this is definitely out of the slew that we've had, one of the ones I prefer.
So you putting it up there in the front?
I mean, we still got 2 more to go. Let's see.
They want me in the back, but they come in the front. Don't.
Sure.
That one was pretty good.
That'll do, big.
All right, now we're moving on to the Red Hair Oktoberfest Hopfenfester.
Is this commentary for everyone out there? If someone asks you to smell the finger, the answer is no.
The head on this is like a seltzer water or something. It just like went right away.
It is, and again, it's a very clear, but with amber, move back to the copper.
Yeah.
And Red Hair, of course, as we all know, is a Atlanta or Marietta kind of area brewery. So,
They also have a brewery in Charlotte where Mother lives.
currently or will?
Well, no, it's so like Charlotte is like 25 minutes or 20 minutes outside of Myrtle Beach, and it's like it's a town that has like one fucking like main strip, and then that's it.
Fucking Main Street. That sounds adorable.
You been there?
It's a little on the bitter side.
Yeah, it's got a little sour in it, doesn't it?
Yeah, we used to vacation.
Kind of like
If anything, this is another easy drinking, like versus some of the others that have some real flavor.
Yeah.
This is pushing back to the other direction, which is it's there.
Yeah, it's fine.
Alright.
All right.
Excuse you.
We're on our last one finally. New Realm. The Bavarian Prince Oktoberfest.
Let's see that as a German beer.
Shut up.
So this is super clear, and back more to the amber than copper.
Yeah.
Malty again.
Yeah.
So this is definitely more back to that crisp lager kind of, almost the same ale stuff, you know, right? Where this has a maltiness, a crispness, but that lager aspect, which feels like kind of a drinkable beer.
I would agree. I mean, crisp. Not too malty. Yeah. I have nothing to add.
Definitely drinkable.
A little commentary from the southeast quadrant, please.
It's good.
Das ist gut. All right. Well, we had one hell of a spread here.
That's what she said.
Take it away, Fat Man. What do
Well,
you think?
I actually was a big fan of the Sam. I also actually really enjoyed this new realm at the end.
No, I think the Sam was good. The Spine was good too,
Oh, the
wasn't
Spine
it?
was good. Yeah, the Spine was good.
Maybe Dry County for honorable mention. I don't fucking know at this point. We gotta.
I'm definitely gonna go with the Sam, and then the last one at the end.
New realm.
Oh, the new realm. Yeah.
I like the Warsteiner, but I like Warsteiner in general, and it kind of tasted like a normal Warsteiner, so I'm biased there, and take that with a grain of salt.
I think that the Warsteiner is a good example because it tasted like it was the Warsteiner. You're right.
That's right.
Now, in terms of comparison Oktoberfest,
No, it's not
that's
really.
why I backed away from it. But
Yeah.
I like Warsteiner as a drinking beer. Well, thanks for hanging out with the Fat Guys and our new additions. And
Like, give us a thumb up, and turn on notifications and all that good shit.
and if you've listened this long, talk to your parents about the questionable YouTube decisions you're making.
Yes.
It's a long video, man.